Okie doke. Why does SilverPython pick random last pick? I don't know. I do not know. Ran out of time, I guess. There was no indication about that. So yeah. And it will cost, obviously, it will be a difficult situation for SilverPython. But they still have oh wow, that's weird. Sorry about that. And oh. Aye. There we go. Best of 3. Okie doke. Right. They still have 3 civs that they did pick, so that could be fine. It's just that the question is, I guess, whether or not they are happy with the 3 civs for the different maps. Maybe they wanted to have a different run of the civs. Mongols, Khmer, and Portuguese are the civs that they actually picked. None of those stand out to me especially strong as a nomad civ, which was their home map. So it could be a bit tricky for SilverPython on their home map if they haven't got a civ they're comfortable with, something they've not prepared. Spanish, obviously, that Reilled has, are a great nomad civ, so might be a tough one there. We have got Portuguese on Neom for SilverPython. Reilled is doing a good job here of pushing the deer, and Reilled has Japanese. So it is going to be Japanese on Neom, not the Franks, and I think we're going to see both players trying to fight for those central food sources in the middle of the map. And that could cause some early fireworks, which we've not really seen too much on Neom. Before on Neom, we usually get to see one or the other player going for early control of the middle. We saw Mel do that with Goths. We saw a Carl do that with the Japanese, I think, as well. But it's rare that both players go for it. The reason I think it's likely here is because Portuguese also would benefit a lot from the berries in the middle of the map. So it could be quite a nice pick. And a nice chance to see how the players fight for the early aggression. Japanese, with their faster attacking militia and man-at-arms, I think would be quite good at this early fighting. Okay, so Reilled pushed 1 deer back successfully under the TC. He's going for the second. Both players, of course, spawn with 2 boars, but no deer under the TC or around your base, and that makes it quite hard to. A lot of the time you're used by now. Players in Age of Empires are used to having a couple of deer or so in their build orders. And it's just caught up with Reilled a little bit, who got Loom but couldn't quite click up. Or didn't get Loom, has Loom queued, so clicks up quite a bit later than his opponent here. Loom coming in, 10 seconds more. Portuguese, meanwhile, clicked up already and fighting downhill is a really good sign. 30 HP all for the 2 Scout Cavalry, which SilverPython will be very happy with, considering he was behind in the cavalry HP race earlier. But here we go, Reilled now sending 4 villagers forward, barracks from Portuguese, so no vills contesting the middle immediately. And Reilled goes to the forward barracks on those berries. SilverPython scouting it all the way, sees the barracks, sees the vill building the barracks, and can respond accordingly. 3 vills in the end are the all that made it. Just gives the barracks a little love tap to say hello. and these scouts fighting back and forth. SilverPython taking the better trade there. 10 seconds to go till Feudal Age comes in. Needs another house once they get there. And nothing killed. Oh, so nothing huge from the barracks just yet. Now that is surprising to me, actually. 2 vills on gold. Maybe it's meant to be an archery range play. Suddenly sends lots of vills to wood. I think it's going to be archery range opening for SilverPython. 19 pop archers. Obviously a very potent build. But with a little bit of a delay in there. Oh no, and I think you got to take that. Oh, I had the opportunity to run that scout down. Obviously Dark Age scout. Neom's quite an interesting map. Maybe we should consider picking it at Arabia. Maybe you should. It plays very similar to Arabia, of course, but it does have these quirks, and I think players are figuring it out still. So if you have an idea, it's a great opportunity to try it out before too many other players cotton on to the idea and think of some ideas of their own. And we're going to see the meta on Neom evolve, I think, throughout the tournament. Oh, and SilverPython Reilled getting very... yeah, a little bit too aggressive there with that 1 HP scout. So it's an army of 2 militia, 2 spearmen. The militia coming forward now, but there's archers already built in that range. So I don't think the infantry units from Reilled are going to find all that much value. Having said that, the archers were produced a little bit slowly for SilverPython, who I think will kick themselves about that. I think they'll be hoping they could have got that going much faster, especially with the faster uptime and the 19 pop build order. I think they'll have been hoping to get archers forward, and the scout has been great though. SilverPython's done a really good job of keeping the scout active, killing the opponent's scout of course, but keeping their own scout alive and active, finding the threats on the map, scouting them out, and generally just being useful with the scout, because it can be so easy to just forget about it or have it die. But they've controlled it really well, and they saw those militia coming forward and add some walls. Here come the militia in the fog of war. To see it from SilverPython's point of view. Blacksmith tapped, tile palisade wall. The militia attack the blacksmith, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and good walls from SilverPython to keep Reilled out. And SilverPython's now fully walled apart from this gap here and the gaps at the front of their base. But the archery range is up. Reilled has his own range, neither player with fletching though. So I think 2 skirmishes should be enough to repel these archers, or at least cause them some problems. But these villagers are caught in harm's way. With fletching, this will be a much different fight. Archers not actually dealing that much damage to the vills, and I think Reilled will actually get given a bit of a break here. Does get away. Fletching comes in now, though. Here we go. So fletching comes in now. So suddenly the archer's damage increases dramatically. Remember, they have 4 attack, which increases to 5. So that's a 25% increase in damage output from those archers. With fletching coming in, those 2 militia attacking a wall there, nothing really to see too much. Fletching on the way, but not in yet for Reilled. He does have the hill advantage though, and does take a nice fight against those archers who are forced to run away, but the vills and the infantry are idled. And SilverPython has a decision to make now. If you're SilverPython, do you go for a stable and try to compete in Feudal Age with stable archers, scouts and archers, scouts to kill the skirms, archers to kill the spears, and make a push for it? Or do you sit back a little bit, farm up a bit, and just try and get to Castle Age and get some mangonels and archers? It looks, and crossbowmen. It looks to be the way that SilverPython is playing it, to me, looks like they're not too interested in the scout opening. They have the wood in the bank for a stable. They could open up with the stable in feudal age and start applying the pressure there. Oh wow. Now that is interesting. A very, very late man-at-arms click up for Reilled, which says to me that he's clearly thinking about longswordmen or something. He wants to go heavy on the militia, 4 militia on the field. But that man-at-arm click is so late, and the militia, well, they walk in, 2 of them, 3 of them nearly going down. Keeps the last one alive very depthly. But that click off man-at-arms was so late, and it comes in now. SilverPython can obviously see that. And the skirmishers are going to get some very nice shots off on those archers. But SilverPython, I mean, is looking quite safe here. So market comes down for both players at exactly the same time, but Reilled builds it much faster with 2 villagers on it rather than just 1. And what will Reilled do with this market? Has 500 gold floating, so can definitely afford to buy some food, add some more bills to farms for 15 farms total. And does Reilled still have control of the middle? He does. Now that was something I was thinking about, because obviously got pushed off a little bit, but SilverPython is not threatening the middle right now, and Reilled strikes while the iron's hot. Also SilverPython not shooting those deer. I'd love to have seen that as a adjustment to the plan. When the archers are running back through here, just shoot all the deer, kill them all. Stops Reilled taking them if you're not interested in taking them yourself. But SilverPython does go up to the castle age. 20-minute click up, pretty good. Not too shabby at all. So I think it will be that crossbowman mangonel play. But SilverPython not looking too scared to go forward here with the archers in feudal age. If they were caught out by the skirmishers, that would prove very challenging indeed, but SilverPython trusts that you'll be able to get those safe, and these villagers are going to be in danger. Just passing for now. The archer's obviously tasked to the back wood line, but maybe should have been a little bit quicker to take the value when they could find it, when SilverPython could find it, because they didn't get any vill kills there. And these house walls, I think, will just about go up. This vill's going to try and build the house here. Could be shot down. Oh, yep, she does die. The house will go down. Palisade could follow behind it, but I think skirmishers are nearly there. 5 skirmishers against 10 archers. And SilverPython's nearly in the castle age, and if they just keep, yep, gotta get crossbowmen and bodkin arrow straight away. And then suddenly these skirmishers will not prove too big of a threat at all. Reilled, castle age as well. Stable coming down, presumably for some knights or something to repel this attack. But has no wood for a siege workshop. And SilverPython actually... Oh, I don't know if I like that decision. Running under the TC, there's just so many crossbowmen. And now Reilled can take this fight. That was actually really costly for SilverPython. Oh no. And he loses almost every crossbowman there. Yep, there goes the last one. Suddenly the army numbers are 14 to 2. And it's mostly archers and skirms. Now, the good news for SilverPython is they aren't forward yet. But I think they are going to start heading forward, and SilverPython, I would say, does need to get that siege workshop down fairly sharpish. Instead goes for the stables. Okay, so both players thinking about the cavalry units. Reilled goes for the TC on the Oasis, whereas SilverPython goes for TC in the base on the gold. I do like Reilled's town centre better, actually, I've got to say. Because it does mean that you have that expansion. Okay, so SilverPython queuing up knights now. Has quite a few bills on food, but not enough to build too many knights with. So obviously villagers cost food and knights cost food. Wow, and SilverPython building another town centre here on the central strip of land. So that's all the stone spent for SilverPython. All the starting stone. So can't afford any more town centres without buying some stone from the market. Now this does mean that, of course, that SilverPython's base is well protected. If you look at the range indicator on the town centres, they overlap almost perfectly. So the strip of green land is very well covered. But yeah, I don't know how much I like this night opening, although the arch is actually a bit sloppy under the town centre. They're all going to go down. I think Reilled could have saved some of those, but Reilled's focused elsewhere. Knights coming forward, crossbowmen in support. Crossbowmen take out the spearmen, knights go for the crossbows. For Reilled, suddenly the army numbers dramatically swinging again back and forth this game. Really, really good to watch, and I think this set in general should be a really close one. Both players very similar in skill level and both prepared, treating this tournament seriously, preparing a lot, different strategies, and coming at the games with fresh minds after both of them beating the top seed in their group. Should be a close one to watch for sure. SilverPython still just about getting the better of Reilled in terms of the sort of forward pressure. Felt like Reilled's never quite managed to get anything too significant done, but SilverPython has got 2 villager kills at least, which is not a lot, but it's definitely something. And 3 town centres now, doubling down on the vill production, and yeah, needs a lot more farms to sustain the heavy investment in stable units. University now coming down. This vill building, it's quite low, and selling some wood, buying some food to keep the knights and the villagers producing, but Reilled behind this, adding a monastery. The monk, though, might go down, has to cancel its conversion, so Reilled is, yep. SilverPython is absolutely fine to keep attacking that wall, and the monk in the end does go down. Has SilverPython seen anything? No. Does not know about this town centre. And on Neon, I think it's really important you have a quick check. You have to see what your opponent is up to. On those oases. Reilled desperately quick calling behind this. Knights coming in, monks as well. The monk does get a conversion this time, but a converted knight will be quickly taken down by its friends, its former friends. Bloodlines and armour coming in. First armour. Gosh, yeah, definitely need to get that one in. Barracks goes down. Reilled again, quick calling with another barracks and a house on the wood line. SilverPython can keep charging through. There's kind of panic stations here for Reilled. 2 monks on the field against 4 knights, obviously a nice number to have, but the conversion, is it going to come in? The conversion does not come in. That felt quite harsh. It could have gone either way there. If it comes in, it's a huge swing. But now the knights are there. Hack says breakfast. Neon stressful, says Roadrunner. Both statements which could be said to be true. Definitely felt like a long conversion there. The knight's now on the wood line though. Conversions need to come in on this knight. The healthy knight is being targeted with the conversion. The Vills trying their best to fight off these knights, but they can't really do too much damage. They do 1 damage a hit. And the monk dies to the crossbows. Ooh, Reilled. 21 army, but where is it? Where is the army? Okay, it's all coming back now. I think Reilled had to be a lot quicker to get the army there. Army back there. This is rough. It is indeed, and there's the siege workshop. That is the killer blow following up the forward pressure from SilverPython. And that's such a smart play. That's such a heads-up play. Knows that this damage is potentially game-ending, but still, it's laser-focused on the end goal of mangonelling down the opponent's TC. And the crossbows forced to cower in a huddle like penguins underneath the town centre. It's only each other for warmth because there's no villagers there. They are all hiding inside the town centre. And yeah, after all said and done, what used to be an even game in eco is now 70 to 35, so exactly double the eco numbers. Well played by SilverPython, says Roadrunner, and I absolutely agree. The Knights finding the skirmishes here. What's one thing SilverPython hasn't done, the only thing he's not done, is find this forward, not forward, but find this expansion. That would be a really smart thing to do, because it just confirms everything you need to know. You know that your opponent is weak at home, but you also know they've expanded. Reilled with a very, very sneaky play here. It's going to town centre again out to the right-hand side. Interesting that both players have bought another... No, Reilled didn't buy another 100 stone, but SilverPython has bought another 100 stone. Ooh! And there might be a little douching action here. Both players going to try and build a TC at the same time, on the same oasis. But yeah, SilverPython taking a lot of map control. This is the neutral map, remember. And, yep, town centre foundation is placed. SilverPython doesn't think too highly of that. Sends the Vils to go fighting with their axes. And the daggers come out. Will Reilled notice this, or will he care? He might not even care. The Vils are doing a good job of targeting the weak Vils, but building might go up if Reilled focuses it down, but yeah, it's a real boxing match now. And I think... Oh, okay, one knight here, so that swings the balance quite a lot, but Reilled is definitely winning the Vil fight. Using one Vil for one, but the Vil's on the town centre itself. Definitely going well, but while that's happening, we've got to focus here. Because Mangonels and Knights taking down the crossbows, and Reilled's not looking. Reilled's not looking, he's looking at the town centre. And when he comes back to this area, he is not going to like... Well, he's not going to like what he doesn't see, because there's nothing there to see. The crossbowmen all died while he was focused on this town centre. Nice quick walls there. It does go up, but I think what Reilled did is he just looked back, saw there was nothing at home. 2 Mangonels taking down the market. And GG is called, and I think it had to be called. It was good. It was a really good game. But it definitely went SilverPython's way. I think, on reflection for Reilled, it was really just the moment where he had an army lead and even bill numbers. And let's just go back, actually. I do just want to check, because it felt to me like the army was simply not... Was it going forward, or... So he goes out to the town centre. Yes, even in builds. Here come the Knights. This is the start of the Knights coming round. And is this the army? Crossbowmen. Yeah, they're being built slowly inside the ranges. Yeah. And it was just Reilled's focus was more on the quick walls, but not quite on the army. Ooh! And I did not spot that. I did not spot that. SilverPython did a great job there. Did you see that? Of having the Knights attacking the range. So if the Knights, or just standing near the range, I guess they just automatically focused on. But if the crossbows popped out, they would be shredded by the Knights as they tried to run home. So it was only when the Knights left the crossbowmen could come back. But SilverPython timed it so well so that there was no window there, and just came in, swept through the base, killed all the villagers. And then from there, it's always going to be a really uphill struggle for Reilled, but he tried his best with the forward TC, but wasn't really meant to be. So 1-0 it is in the first set of the evening. A really, really nice set. Thank you for joining, everybody. I hope you have you had a good day and are having a good evening. And I will have a look at game number 2. So we saw on Neom, which was our neutral map, Reilled lost to, let's see, Portuguese beat Japanese. So the first picks for both players that weren't sniped, of course. But Reilled's, I still like Reilled's draft. I think he's got a very good draft. For Nomad, of course, Spanish, hard to argue with. And then Hideout, Britons feel pretty strong. But also Franks, I guess, is a possibility. I guess you could, if you really, really wanted to, you could play Spanish on Hideout, but I think it feels much stronger on Nomad. So yeah. Nice save as you realised you're about to accuse Python cheating. Yeah, because you said hacked. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with monks. They're just a bit unreliable, aren't they? And you have to. I mean, it's skill based, right? Because if you can start the conversion earlier, the variation in the RNG matters less because you've started it earlier, which is a skillful thing to do. But I think at all levels, players would probably admit that it's hard to control the monks perfectly. So yeah, I'm not surprised that that happens, and sometimes that is all it takes to lose a game, especially when the players are as closely matched as this. Just one little variation, 1 or 2 extra seconds of conversion time, the monk goes down, suddenly it's 4 knights against 0 instead of 3 knights against 1. It's those little butterfly effects. Okie doke. I think the game number 2, just spying on what's happening in the lobby, it looks to me like game number 2 is on Hideout, which would make sense because that's Reilled's home map, but of course remember that the players can pick any map they like from the draft. The loser can pick either map. Basadai is in the house. Hello, Basadai. Good evening to you. So not a good start to the set for Reilled. Now, Reilled, let's see. So Reilled's done himself a big service in the tournament by beating Akal. That has helped his chance of progressing to the upper knockout massively. He may well lose to SilverPython, and that's fine. If he beats Akal and Wally, I think that would mean he goes to the upper knockout. So obviously nothing at all confirmed yet. We've only had 1 game of this set. But it looks to me like we're watching the battle for 2nd place in the group, I think, in this set here. And of course that still has a lot to play for because or the battle for 1st place, I should say, i.e. the winner would be 1st, loser would be 2nd. And that has some value attached to it because if you finish 1st, you play a randomly assigned 2nd place finisher, which obviously is a much better benefit, is a much nicer situation to be in than playing a randomly assigned 1st place finisher. So both players still something to play for, but yeah, the group stage in general is obviously much less cutthroat than the knockouts where you have to start saying goodbye to people. It feels so sad. I don't ever want to see anybody's last game in the tournament, but that has to happen at some point. Whittling down from 32 players has to occur at some point. I can see both players civs, and it's actually not Well, let's see. Is it not what you'd expect? I think it probably is what you'd expect. I guess we can see in the chat. What do you think? If I told you the map was Hideout, which it is, if you look at the drafts of both players, what do you think the matchup would be? Roadrunner 86, when you're playing next, you need to watch some Titanics. Oh, well, there's a little hint. Khmer Britons. I think that would be my I think that would be my initial guess too. It's actually going to be the Mongols though, which is a bit surprising, right? Maybe the Mongols would be better on Nomad and then Khmer. I don't know. I don't think it really. I think it's not much in it. They're pretty similar civs, and the Mongols have a really nice power spike with the Mangudai. Obviously on Hideout, there's no problems of no stone, so you can definitely build castles on Hideout. And a Mongol castle drop even could be quite an idea, like something to think about. The Britons, they probably want to play Hideout nice and slowly, nice and calm, and use their superior economy to boom up. So I think if anyone's going to do any shenanigans, dropping castles on people's faces, I would suspect it would be SilverPython. The deer spawn inside the base, which is a nice little bonus for well, for both players. Just feels quite nice to have your deer inside. And Reilled, the cows. So let's see. If you have 3 cows, 3 times 150 is 450. 4 times 100 is 400. So having 3 cows instead of 4 sheep is actually a nice bonus for the Britons who get their hunts, not hunts, what's it called? Sheep, herdables, gathering faster. So Reilled in a good position here, has all the ingredients in it that at his disposal for a nice boom. The gold is, well, it's kind of forward, but it's the wrong side of the base for SilverPython to castle drop immediately. It is right next to the gold outside the base though, which is a bit sad for Reilled, where SilverPython has a really, really nice base with the gold and the stone next to each other, true, but they're both located on the long way round side. So I think, yeah, all the berries are not in a good spot though. That's got to be said. But yeah, like I said, I don't think we'll see too many shenanigans from Reilled. It'll be SilverPython who's the one. Castle drop, Mongols castle drop incoming. Yeah, I think it would not be too surprising. Reilled takes the first hit on the scout there. What will SilverPython do? Just blocks the gate for now while he has a think. Does he want to come in? I think the answer to that question is probably no. You do not want to come in. He's just going to sit there for a little bit. Reilled? Ooh, now SilverPython's actually distracting Reilled quite a lot here. If this came off, would it be a good move? It would be quite nice if it came off. Thing is though, this Bill walking for so long and then placing the gate, there's a lot of idle eco time, but I think the gate will be tapped. Feudal Age comes in, so we're not going to see any castle drop. SilverPython does find themselves trapped. So a nice heads-up play from Reilled. I mean, obviously the worst thing would be if the Vil opened the gate and then the scout could get out. No. Nothing doing. Oh my god! Reilled! Oh my... Okay, that is a double Titanic. Both players had some issues there. So really, nothing. After all said and done, nothing at all changed. Reilled just has a nice little double gate here. And again, the Mongol scouts attached to sit in this gate. So the Mongol scout, though, here's the thing, is going to be in the feudal age very quickly. 18 pop scouts. And we saw this from Akal. We saw 15 pop Khmer scouts. Why are we going scout opening on hideout, guys? No bills on stone. Okay. Well, no barracks either. Hang on a sec. No barracks, no bills on stone. Oh, there's the barracks. Oh, okay. It's going to be so late, though. Rushes it down with many villages. 6 villages. So, SilverPython really does want to go for the scouts, it feels like, but... And range. Aye. Okay. So, feels a little bit all over the place for me, I'm going to be honest, from SilverPython. 18 pop archers. Sorry, 19 pop archers is the play. Okay, but we now need to go to gold then. Because, yeah, it has to build up a skirmisher first. Horse collar coming in. I can't afford a blacksmith. I don't know about this. And, oh wait, is it just skirmishers to worry about the Britons? It might be okay actually, because might as well FC. That's what I'm thinking, right? You've gone up, okay, you've gone up not quite early, you've forgotten your barracks. I think you can turn it into a fast feudal for eco upgrades into a quick castle. Maybe not a fast castle, but a quick castle behind it. And I think that'd be absolutely fine. You could also start mining some stone as well, you know, and go for a castle drop. But this feels like a little bit of a kind of in-between build here. And the full skirm play doesn't excite me too much. Okay, now we see some builds on gold. That definitely, I think, would be a good start. Get some archers out with the skirmishers. Reilled, dropping a range of his own, so actually he's also going to play into the trap here a little bit, because SilverPython can come forward with archers and skirmishers. And Reilled might have a tough time dealing with that. Still need a blacksmith from SilverPython. Reilled is adding a blacksmith, so doing a good job there. And both players doing a good job with their eco upgrades. Fletching coming in for Reilled. Range completes as well, and will we see archers or skirmers first? Presumably we'll see archers. There we go. So out come the 4 skirmishers. Loom coming in now for our Python. And can afford archers, just needs to queue them up. Yeah, a weird kind of hybrid build from both players right now. Okay, now Spearman is actually in the queue for Reilled, who still has a scout alive, but isn't looking at his opponent's base forward. Hasn't seen what's going on, so builds a Spearman just in case, which I don't mind at all. And what can SilverPython see? Can't see any of the military buildings either, so doesn't know if Reilled's going for a range or just going for fast castle. I'd love to see the scout go forward to have a look. I think it's on the way there. Completed the circle. And the Spearmen actually started going forward and now are running back home. And I think they... yeah, I think SilverPython actually is now going for a fast castle. So after all that, is going to end up going for the castle build. Oh, the Spearman nearly finds a hit on the scout, but good awareness from SilverPython there. That's really, really good awareness. Dodges around that one. Market coming up, and that will help SilverPython get to a castle stage. If I recall correctly, Big Walt killed me with men-at-arms on this map. I think I remember that game. Was that in Land Lovers last year? Or maybe not. Maybe that's in some other tournament. But I think I remember that. I think I might have been Incas. And I went for a very aggressive play. And I think that would be a perfectly good thing to do in SilverPython's position here. But he's not done it. He's going for Castle Age instead, which also is absolutely fine. Reilled, I think, is a little bit well, a little bit slow really to get up to Castle Age behind this. The Archer's coming out now at 15 minutes. It's a little bit too late. Oh, Ethiopians just had it. Ah, okay. I was thinking of someone else in the tournament. I don't really remember that game then. Maybe it does ring a faint bell, but yeah. And I'm not too big a fan of Reilled's build. I'm gonna say it. Like, I think hey, Superhero, nice to have you. But I don't want to be critical to our players because this is a tournament about improvement and everybody is here to learn and to practice, and I really like that environment because it's rare to have in a tournament. So I'm not at all seeking to be judgmental to the players. The only reason I'm saying that is because Reilled and SilverPython both seem to be very good players in this tournament. They are the upper echelons. I think both of them could go very far. I feel that I can criticize Reilled for his build here, and then look at this. He's just ready to click up to Castle Age. His opponent's in Castle Age, not on stone though, so that will be some good news for him. But yeah, I think Reilled now is realizing the situation. The Archers running as safely as they can back home. Actually, look at this in the queue. Step Lancers, 2 stable Step Lancers. They cost a little bit less than Knights, so they're a bit more affordable. And it's going to be 1 town centre, Step Lancers, plus some skirmishers. So skirms will deal with the spearmen and crossbowmen, and the Step Lancers will deal with the palisade walls and presumably any villagers that might be on the resource piles. Okay, so Reilled is the one on stone. He is mining stone with 3 villagers, which is not going to be enough to get a castle when Castle Age comes in, I don't think. Depends how early they went on stone. It looks to me like Reilled is going to be a bit short of stone. Also on pop space. But again, there's not actually that much army this time for SilverPython to do too much damage. And in fact, maybe a couple of town centres would have been a good idea, just to get that Vill lead with the earlier Castle Age, secure that Vill lead early on. Yeah, double stable from blue, exactly. So very aggressive opening in Castle Age, and the Archers doing their due diligence. So good army control from Reilled, keeping the Archers where they need to be to repel any Step Lancers from coming in. They now attack this tile behind the archery range, which Reilled can't really see too much. And they do break in. The Vills on stone are pulled away. 450 stone they managed to acquire. Reilled hits Castle Age. Does he have a market? Yes, he does. So can sell a bit of food. Has to quick wall this wood line though, and has to do so with houses, of course, because the Step Lancers have an extra range than a regular stable unit or melee unit. SilverPython is the one in the base, and Reilled, not enough gold to click crossbow. I think that's a really important upgrade. Yep, sells a bit of gold. Bodkin arrow coming in. I think crossbow's probably queued up behind one of these archers. +2 armor coming in, crossbow coming in as well. So dead even in Vills, neither player with a second town centre. Reilled, of course, is Britain's, and Britain's town centres are much cheaper on the wood cost, so he could afford one fairly soon. Ooh, this house might go down. Ooh, good grief. Okay, good repairs for Reilled there. That was important. I think 1 Step Lancer could actually come in and snipe that villager. But Reilled now with 20 crossbowmen. I think that is a very good number to start taking out these Step Lancers. Yeah, they go down. They go down very quickly, actually. Goodness me. So, yeah. after the slightly worrying initial threat from SilverPython, he ends up just getting 1 or 2 Vil picks actually on these Vils over by the gold and the farms, but well, actually 3 or 4 Vil picks. Good effort from those Steppe Lancers, but no, they all go down now. And SilverPython is the first one to add a second town centre, can afford a third as well, should he wish to do so. And Reilled with a nice stone wall and an outpost on this choke point here on the long way around the map, just to ensure there's no unexpected shenanigans around that side. But I think the game will slow down a lot now, and it'll be a bit of a booming race. And I always back Britons in a booming race. They have a really nice eco for booming up. 3 town centres coming down for Reilled, only 2 for SilverPython. And Reilled is not letting too much time go by without keeping the crossbows queued up, so yeah, this ball of crossbows I think will see him through to the end of the game. He'll try and keep that one going throughout the castle age into the imp when they can get Arbalest. So SilverPython, it's up to him to do something to stop that, and well, here we go. So mangonels are on the way from the siege workshop inside the base, hidden from Reilled. Okay, and Reilled declares his intent here with this stone wall. So the Vils on stone actually were not for a castle at all. They were for stonewalling Vils. Spearman just gets a little bit frisky. Those go down to the town centre. Now, can SilverPython spot this stone wall and stop it before it goes up? And the answer to that, I think, is probably no. 24 crossbowmen against 11 Steppe Lancers without forging, with bloodlines. Here's a mangonel, though. Of course, the Briton crossbow can actually outrange mangonel. But it could be tricky. It looks like SilverPython's at least going to see this. He sees the stone wall. And the crossbowman didn't shoot for quite a while there. The Steppe Lancers go around the back. Ooh, a really nice hit from the mangonel on those crossbows. Those tail enders, the stragglers getting picked up there. The Steppe Lance. Oh, that was a big shot as well. And the wall, the progress on the wall is going to stop. Reilled, nice split micro around those rocks falling from heaven, but wow, the Steppe Lancers and the mangonel really, really, really took a nice fight there. I was not expecting it to be that clean. So excellent play from SilverPython. He surely will get that. Okay. Oof. Reilled, not with the best monk luck today, but eventually that one does go down and it takes out the mangonel as well, so I think that's at least he could have expected from that conversion. But still, Reilled is not going to be too happy with the situation he finds himself in. Suddenly the wall is half complete, all the crossbows died, and rather than building up a mass for Imp, he has to build a mass just to save his base in Castle Age. And SilverPython's the one who's going to get a nice wall up at the side here. That will do him just fine. If he wants to drop a castle on Reilled's face, which obviously would be a devastating blow, he will need lots more Vils on stone. He does actually have a slight Vil lead over Reilled, which it's hard to say where that's come from. I mean, I guess it's pretty much just the 4 Vil kills. Neither player has wheelbarrows, so very similar economies for both. University coming down. Ooh. This house going down as well. And SilverPython breaks in at the top here on this palisade wall. There's one Steppe Lancer. More Steppe Lancers and more mangonels coming. And SilverPython's floating a bit of res. I actually wouldn't mind to see a siege workshop here, because the archery ranges are all forward, the stone's forward, the golds here can be ranged as well. Oh, and does SilverPython know about this? No. Doesn't know about. I think that's just a capture age bug on the farm, so I don't think he knows about that that TC down there. So, and Reilled's blocked off all the exits from his own base, so he's definitely in this for the long haul, turtling up at home. So SilverPython should take as much map control as he likes at this crucial stage of the game. House and palisade wall deleted. Ballistics coming in for the archers, which will help a lot in that engagements like the one we just saw. But it might be tricky for Reilled to deal with this pressure. Outpost, I like that outpost a lot. That's such a smart outpost from SilverPython. I think Town Watch did come in, so he hasn't learned any new information there. One on this gate and archery range here would confirm that Reilled has a lot of builds on stone, and well, there's the castle coming up. So that will protect both golds. Although this one's nearly depleted, but it will protect the sort of side of Reilled's base. And there we go, there's the siege workshop forward. So it won't protect against that. And that is quite an important thing for Reilled to deal with, because these mangonels can just push through now onto the town centre, and the wood line, and all the farming eco. So maybe you'd like to see that castle a bit forward. Also, this stone pile is quite important for Reilled, and this extra gold. There's a lot of step lancers there, and the mangonels too. Obviously, Britons can shoot the mangonels down, but it requires micro, and if you're shooting the mangonel, you're not shooting the step lancer. So a tough one for Reilled to deal with here. Step lancers charge forward. I think they probably could just run around and take that, but SilverPython being very cautious, maybe too cautious, because he's just getting step lancers picked off for free here. You can't dance underneath these crossbow for too long. Just take a fight at some point as they path around this tiles of wood. There's a choke point here, and actually SilverPython just hits his own step lancers there, so good escape for Reilled. Definitely I'll be happy with that one. Bill sent forward to repair the mangonel here. Sneaky mangonel hiding behind the gate. Let's pick off a villager, but Imp is clicked by SilverPython. Oh, there comes Town Watch, okay. So now he can see a bit more. Into the base. And SilverPython also will be heading for the Imperial Age fairly soon, I would imagine. He does just need a bit more food for that one. Let's see if the buildings... I see University coming down now, so yeah, definitely on his mind. I think this castle probably does just about go up because the mangonel can't range these villages. Having said that, can range just the edges of them. Oh, and this house might go down. Ooh, I actually take it back. This castle is really not in a good position to go up at all. Reilled, where's the army? Reilled, you've got to get those archers back in. You need to come in right now, because the step lancers are already coming through. And the castle will be denied. This feels like a very similar situation to game number 1, where Reilled's army is just simply not in the right place right at the right time. Imperial Age is in 1.5 minutes, and that 1.5 minutes is all SilverPython's time to do with as he pleases. The Vills start building a town centre, but maybe a bit too late. Reilled has enough stone for a stone gate or something, but can't get it down in time before the Vills start falling on the wood line. Castle half finished. Nice mangonel shot on those crossbowmen. Good dodging from Reilled. Needs to wait a bit more for Imp. The good news is for Reilled, when Imp comes in, he can at least afford Arbalest. Has to dodge those rocks falling for the mangonels. And SilverPython is on the way to Imp as well and has the eco lead right now, thanks to some amazing raiding from those step lancers. This town centre, I think, in the end, will just about go up. But not ideal at all, and Reilled is currently stuck outside his own base. Needs to delete this house. You've got to get back here. Yeah, there we go. House goes down. Bracer coming in for the Arbalest, or crossbowmen rather. And is Arbalest queued up? No, Arbalest is not queued up. All the Vills are all being spent on... No, food is all being spent on Vills rather. Excuse me. Okay, but the Bracer coming in... This is actually getting very low though, isn't it? But I think Bracer coming in on these crossbow. Chemistry as well. I think this castle foundation will live. Reilled can be a bit more aggressive here, I think. He wants to fight underneath the castle, so I don't blame him for that. Yeah, just got to take out these step lances. Yeah, you gotta shoot, Reilled. You gotta shoot. Racer comes in. Imperial Age comes in. Mangonel goes down. Yeah, this castle will go up, I think, if you can get some bills on it. All the army dies for SilverPython. So it's a very close game suddenly. But advantage definitely goes to SilverPython, who is getting elite step lancer upgrade coming in. That gives them +1 PS armor. I feel the Mango could have destroyed the castle foundation. Yeah, I think so too. But I think the castle will go up now. 81, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 90% and 100%. So there we go. So Reilled has just bought himself a lifeline here. Obviously, still behind in economy. 20 villagers, so nothing too crazy. Step Lancers are going to be a nice option. And interestingly, we see the houses behind this for SilverPython, who I thought potentially might have liked to try and raid me around the other side, but I think he might respect his opponent enough to know that Reilled is probably going to wall this one off. So just wants to play at route 1 here. But it can be very dangerous against Britons to play this game where you are fighting down the single channel, because Britons, of course, have one of the best units in the game. They're the Briton Arbalest or the Briton Longbowman to deal with this kind of single channel fighting. And here we go, the Trebuchets as well. So Arbalest coming in, Treb's on the way as well. Chemistry already came in for the Britons. So their Arbalests are doing as much attack as they possibly can. And I think I saw siege engineers from somebody come in. I can't quite remember who got siege engineers, but I think it might have been SilverPython. Did the Mongols get that? I can't even remember actually. Okay, but here we go. Step Lancer production ramping up quite significantly. 33. And loads of stables. Right. So that is the plan then. It's rams and step lancers. The rams, of course, are a nice little meat shield for the archers. They have to avoid... They've got to target fire so they don't shoot their rams down. Nice way to counter Britons. And the trebuchets from Reilled are going to start taking out this siege workshop forward, but SilverPython's given up on that. He doesn't mind too much. Siege ram coming in. No castle for SilverPython, as Jeremy's crossbow mentioned, means that drill is not on the cards for SilverPython. But look at this, 154 pop to 161. So I think Reilled's done a great job here, because it's looking really, really dicey in mid-castle age. Let's see his Arbalest take down a house. Reilled may need to mix in half. Well, there we go. Your wish is answered. Only has the 2 barracks though, so it does need to get a few more barracks out. I think, yeah, I think Halb will be nice, but the Arbalest should also be quite good. I think the Halbs maybe will be the best against the siege rams, actually. Okay. And SilverPython's just waiting and waiting and waiting. The siege rams coming forward now. They don't have drill, so they actually look agonizingly slow without drill. It's quite funny, actually. But here they come forward. The Arbalest shoot them down, but yeah, there's no way they can stop this Treb dying. Having said that, it's quite speedy and it escapes very well. The siege rams and elite step lancers now coming in. This ball of Arbalest is quite something to deal with though. How does it do against these step lancers? It's got a lot of damage per hit. SilverPython is losing army quite quickly here. Reilled's keeping his army alive pretty well. The army numbers very, very even. And this game is poised extremely closely. There's a lot of siege rams though. How many siege rams? 7 siege rams alive. This castle is being repaired. I Don't know if it's going to be enough, and SilverPython just opening multiple avenues here to get into Reilled's base. Castle surely will fall if these siege rounds can get their knockers on it. Masonry coming in now, maybe a little bit too little too late. Arbalest taking really good fights against the Step Lancers. The Step Lancer numbers are dwindling a little bit, but so are the Arbalest numbers. The castle is going to go down pretty shortly, and that will help to protect the Step Lancers, but the Step Lancer numbers are dying quite well. Ooh. I don't know. It felt like not the ideal fight for either player, but the siege rams, all the Step Lancers have to do is keep the siege rams from, help the siege rams on their push, and look at this, Reilled's actually going to get housed now. That's not what you want to have happen in the middle of the fight. 25 halberdiers in the queue, no arbalests, the archery range is all dying. And it feels to me like Reilled is just starting to lose a little bit of the grip here. Does have the army lead. Used to be 50 all, now it's 37 to 23. It's just these pesky siege rams. They are starting to be cleaned up though. SilverPython spots a golden opportunity to go for town centre at the top, and I think he might actually find this, so the vills are there to repel it. And they're actually doing a good job of stopping the pathing of the rams towards that town centre. So 3 rams sent to this town centre as well. More halberdiers, but where's the barracks? Yeah, it needs a lot more military production. So there's Reilled. So the 5 barracks, there we go. There's more barracks queued up now. There we go. Barracks at the back. Needs some more rangers too for the Arbalest. Has 2,000 gold. SilverPython, good spot. 0 bills on gold. 0 gold in the bank. So he's actually going to struggle a bit and has to go to Hussar. I think you've got to switch to Hussar. Don't throw too many Step Lancers away here because they're a really powerful unit. And you don't want to be without those when the time comes to start really doing a lot of damage when you want to. The Halbs are going to take a nice fight, the Arbalest as well. Siege rams coming in on those Arbs means Reilled has to pay focused attention the whole time to those, and SilverPython spots the gold here. Should he wish to do so, send some villagers there. Not very aggressive with his castle placements, it's got to be said. One just protecting the economy at the back, one protecting the economy at the side. I think if he wanted to, he could have got up a castle here when he was pushing into Reilled's base. I think that was an option. It settles for castles at home. And yeah, both players are going to have gold be an issue fairly soon. Reilled though is looking really good on the gold count, really healthy gold count. And several people in the chat saying that Python's throwing this. It kind of feels, well, I don't know if he's throwing it. He was definitely ahead. He definitely was ahead. He's not behind too much though. The thing is, the army lead is heavily in favour of Reilled. But SilverPython definitely has a chance to win still. It's not over by any means. Just the way the game goes, and the more that this enormous Britain army of Arbalest is allowed to grow and grow. Yeah, and SilverPython not being too aggressive here. It's got to be said, maybe he needs to be more aggressive. Try and really break Reilled apart. Reilled has built up a lot of halberdier numbers, and also will control this gold. And the castle goes back up exactly in the same place that it went down. Light Cav did manage to find their way into the base of Reilled, but won't really get too much done. Go for the monk if he's really paying attention. And Reilled needs to pick up some more relics. 1 relic to 0 so far. Both players could pick up relics and help their gold count out a lot. SilverPython's selling a lot of food to afford gold, but it's unclear to me exactly where he wishes to spend that. I think he's going for the Mangadai approach. And Mangudai's obviously quite good against halberdiers. But SilverPython is a bit of a way off full upgrades on that. Still missing Bracer, still missing the armor. I haven't seen Parthian Tactics come in, that's always a nice one for your cav archers. Elite Mangudai, there we go, that's a very expensive upgrade. All this is costing gold, which SilverPython doesn't really have. I think that might have been one tech switch too many for SilverPython. Because now, Reilled, 2 trebs in the queue from the one castle. No issues to worry about in the middle of the map over-chopping or cutting through, right now at least. I mean, that could always be on the cards, but nothing being displayed from... no intent displayed from either player to chop through the middle. And SilverPython now has to deal with these halberdiers that Reilled's throwing forward, and he only needs to kill a few Mangudai to make that a cost-effective trade, it feels like. Reilled is on gold, SilverPython is not. The trebuchets are nearly ready to start their assault on the castles. The halberdiers are going to go down. And I don't think SilverPython lost any Mangudai there, so that's a good job from him. Really good job. And yes, heavily leaning on to the idea of going for hussars. So balancing the economy as best as possible at the market. Built a monastery here, which I assume is to get that relic, but never actually sent the monk out to do so. Reilled is pop capped 196. SilverPython 156 pop. They're really lacking behind there. And yeah, just can't really afford the units that he needs. Yeoman coming in, which will really boost the Arbalest. And, well, here comes some Hussar. I don't think Rams is needed for Reilled. I think he should focus on the Trebs. Halb, Treb, Arbalest. Feels like a very tough comp to stop. Architecture coming in as well for Reilled, so good job from him doing his due diligence on the building HP upgrades and armor, of course. And yeah, it really is looking quite tough for SilverPython now. This is a slow push. This is how Britons play. Slow and steady wins the race. But the Siege Rams are going to die to Halbs, the Hussars are going to die to Halbs, and the Arbalest as well just put out a lot of damage on any unit they start firing at. It does seem to me that SilverPython needs to come up with an idea here. Something else different to what he's already doing. Reilled, really nice attention to detail here, is getting fortified wall and walling this a second time. You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see an outpost here. Just to make sure there's no onagers hiding in the fog of war and about to start chopping through. Hussars trying their best to have a quick run around. Nothing doing, says Reilled, but they've pulled all of the Halbs back, and yeah, Reilled just making sure there's some Halbs left guarding the trebuchets. But he does have those ready. And here comes the train of Rams. SilverPython maybe needs some more bills on food, less bills on wood, to afford full Hussar. But yeah, this is the fight. This is the fight which SilverPython does not want to take, but feels he has to. The ball of Arbalest shooting from miles away on those Mangudai are forced to retreat. And the thing is, the Mangudai, they're, someone would say, the best unit in the game. They do kind of die to Arbalest though, it feels to me. Especially Brit and Arbalest. You have to be very, very attentive with them. Their advantage is in mobility and the damage against siege, and it's a really strong unit. But if they're standing still, fighting against Arbalest, well, there you go. 1, 2, 3. Mangudai going down, and those are Mangudai which cannot be replaced. He's a not at all expendable unit for SilverPython. The Hussar are. The Hussar he can throw away like there's no tomorrow. But the Mangudai are a crucial unit, and oof, both players getting a little bit close here to chopping into each other. I wonder if SilverPython will recognise that as a win condition, or win opportunity, rather, for him. He's somewhat protecting his Mangudai mass. He is somewhat protecting it, but yeah, it feels like he needs a bit more needs something else, right? That's not quite working. Diamonic in the chat saying Mangudai Hussar wins, just needs 100 more farmers. I guess so. This is a really nice castle. This is a very, very canny castle from Reilled. Not too far forward that it gets tread down, but it protects the entire base. As the Hussar make their way in on the Arbalest. And that's the kind of fight that SilverPython needs. Keeping the Mangudai safe. Actually, I say that, the Mangudai all died. Ooh, only 2 Mangudai left alive. Okay. So this is it. This really is it. The Hussar are there. But it's really just Arb, Halb, and Treb against, as far as I can tell, just Hussar. And that's never ever going to be a good situation. I wouldn't hate to see SilverPython switch into some skirmishes here. And also pick up these relics. It's never too late. It's never ever too late. There's 1 relic here, 1 relic here, and a 3rd one at the back. That would triple his gold income compared to Reilled. Onager is afforded. Okay. So this is a great chance for SilverPython. I think it's the only chance left for him in this game. He has to use those Mongolian siege units to great effect here. Reilled now, he recognises the situation. It's time to pounce. And I think he could have a bit of a field day here. He's got to dodge the castles, which of course, as we said, have been positioned very, very effectively around the base. Holy food count. Oh, wow, that's a good point, actually. I had not noticed that Reilled's been banking up a lot of food. Feels like he could sell that to eat some bills. But yeah, the Hussar die so fast, not only to the halberdiers, but also to the Arbalest ball, and yet the Trebs feel safe enough to come up forward and have a go at this castle now. Arbalest, yeah, don't need to micro them at all, really. Just need to keep them still, keep them firing. The Halbs will take care of the Hussar coming forward, and the Arbs will take care of the Hussar at the back. And I think with the last throw of dice is Onager, yeah, there we go. Forward to Workshop, but as I said, this is why this castle is so, so clever. If SilverPython does break through here, there's no easy win. Yeah, all the Hussar coming this way. Reilled, if Reilled's really paying attention, he'll notice the Hussar pathing that way and smell a rat. But yeah, they break through here. Question is, how much damage can SilverPython actually do? Of course they can run past the castle. But yeah, Reilled notices in time. A nice wall there is a good idea. Nice house wall here. The castle's shooting them down. And I think... Okay, well, SilverPython not giving up just yet. Not giving up, so good effort from him to carry on. Losing a lot of eco at home, of course. The monastery going down. There was no relic garrisoned in that anyway, so not a huge loss. Onager cuts through this side, but another nice castle from Reilled keeps all the farmers safe. There's no avenue of attack on the top. It feels like SilverPython should come back round to the bottom here. And of course he could cut through even down here where there's farms. Making this game very, very messy, and Reilled needs to, yeah, this is the thing. Reilled, he's been hanging around a little bit too long, it feels like. Just has to really go for the jugular here. Get in the base, start killing vills, start killing buildings. Because he's had this Treb Halb ball for a long time now, and now is starting to use it. The Hussar break through this gap. Halb sent in defense. I like these farmer numbers for SilverPython. Reilled, of course, has a huge economy in food. Still, can sell a lot of it. Nice attention to detail by Reilled. Gotta give him props for that, because thinking about relics right now is a hard thing to do. And doing so is going to really help him in this game, but I think he's probably fine. The score, you can see, is heavily in favour because of the amount of units that SilverPython has lost. And Zabel going down, houses going down. Don't think we saw nomads coming in, so the houses will be a factor. Nice find there from Reilled on that relic in the top, but Hussar there takes out the monk. Halbs coming through the gap that SilverPython created himself is now a thorn in his own side, and with equal vill numbers, but 10 times the army count, 200 pop for Reilled and 100 pop for SilverPython. I think the game is over, and GG well played is called. A really good game. And it sets us up for a decider in game number 3. So congratulations, Reilled. Wow, what a good game. I think that was a really close one, and it looked like Reilled was dead. Did it not? It looked like he was really in a troubling situation there with the Step Lancers, which became elite Step Lancers, and the Mangonels pushing down. Felt like a really tough spot, but Reilled did a great job of getting that castle up, eventually got that castle up, and just about managed to hold on with the Britons. And when it becomes one-dimensional, as I saw Mole say in the chat and I was saying in the cast, that is the Britons' comfort zone. They just like that one-dimensional, you know, corridor shooting. Which suits them really well. So, fascinating game. We're going to go into game number 3. And these two players, to answer your question, Tango and Cash, are very similarly poised in ELO. They are... well, Reilled went on a bit of a tear, and he's now 1540 or so. But SilverPython is around 14 something, but I think both of them are kind of transcending their ELO a bit here. It's this tournament style of play, which is what I love to watch. And we see I got one by Reilled. Ooh. So we're going into game number Elmer, I see. Elmer Mero, nice to have you in the chat. Nice to have you. And commiserations, I think, right? Because I think we saw you play against King Nabs, who I think beat you. I could be wrong about that. But that was a great set to watch. I can't quite remember which way it went, but I really enjoyed watching that set, so thank you very much. And I look forward to watching your future games in the tournament. Okay. So Reilled has just sent me the 3rd game code. And the reason I'm saying ooh a lot, sorry, to get back to that point, is because the last map is SilverPython's home map, but he has to play against the Spanish on Nomad, and he has the unenviable pick, I think, I would say, it's fair to say, of Khmer or Bengalis against Spanish. Feels pretty tough. I guess you gotta go Khmer? But it's a not particularly pleasant matchup. So, we'll see what he can do. If he can find a nice pick. Obviously, if you pick Nomad, at least you're happy with the map. And Reilled might not be so happy. I don't know how much Nomad Reilled has played, but I don't think it's one of his favourites. So it should be more in SilverPython's wheelhouse, and I think the map familiarity might outweigh the fact that Reilled is on Spanish, because it sounds pretty easy. All you gotta do is just go for all you gotta do is build what do we call it? Conquistadors, right? But it's not quite that easy. I think in SilverPython's position, I'd probably preferred Portuguese on Nomad, and then Khmer Mongols on the other two maps. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think I'd have done the same. Obviously, I think what I'd really rather do is pick Vietnamese or something on instead of Bengalis. The first UC building nerf time is a good thing for all cities except Spanish. Or was it against Spanish? Yeah, true. History of options completely fine. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know what you mean. Exactly. Yeah, like you probably the only thing the fourth pick really does is just give your deception. Exactly. It's you can't mind game if you've got a random fourth pick. And I suspect I would be very surprised if we see anything other than Spanish for Reilled, so probably won't be the Franks. Is there any merit in picking Franks? Don't think so. Doesn't really surprise your opponent, so it will surely see Spanish. And yeah, I think probably we'll see the Khmer. So an exciting one. Who do we think is going to win game number 3? And remember, guys and girls, I think with the way that this match is playing out, I'm pretty confident in saying the winner of this will top Group 1. Because the winner of this will beat someone who beat Akal. So there'll be 2 sets to the good. The other person will be 1-1. Akal is currently 0-2. And I don't know the Wally result, but it would seem likely to me that if you win this set, you're probably going to win all 3 sets in the group, which should put you through to the top placement of the upper bracket. And that should be that's a big carrot to go for, because you get a nicer round of 16 game, and the way we've seen these groups play out, there's a lot of strong opponents in here. So I'd much rather have a second placed opponent than a first if I was in this position. And that's what you win yourself. That's the prize you're playing for. Alright then. Game number 3 of 3 is going to be on Nomad. Reilled with the Spanish builds the TC. But look at this, SilverPython spots it instantly. Now, how big a deal is that? Well, okay. So this is going to be a firework, early fireworks, and it could be a very quick game. Both players building their TCs with 2 villages, but Reilled did start his clicker. Obviously, as we were discussing in the chat, Spanish TC positions don't make any difference. The TC building is not a thing in the early game. But this could be tough. Mole, read the handbook. SilverPython and Reilled both have their docks up. And SilverPython could do the thing that is very sneaky to do. If you start gathering food from a zebra, then click it on the shorefish and then it goes to the dock, you can actually drop off hunt at a dock. You have to just switch it to shorefish before you do. Okay, well, SilverPython not playing around, gets that rhino in straight away. Reilled has discovered another rhino over there. SilverPython has not discovered another rhino. So the early scouting for Reilled is much better. Oh wait, does he even know? I forgot about this. He might not even know. But he will do very soon indeed. Yeah, there we go. Sees the town centre. The goat does get converted by SilverPython, but Reilled now, yeah, says 11. He is worried about this one. Reilled picks off the rhino for this one. Okay, so it would be 1 rhino each. I think Reilled's saying uh-oh, but I think Reilled's in a much, much better position here. Because he's got a Vil lead and a fishing ship out against the Khmer. It doesn't. Basadai, 3 minutes has passed, so nothing going. It only matters in 3 minutes. The only thing you're not allowed to do is while your opponent's building a TC, you can't just go around killing all their deer with your Vil. That's the thing. But this is not an issue anymore. So Loom is an early upgrade for SilverPython, who's housed actually. Rushes the house down. But Reilled's still ahead in economy. Oh, but idle TC time. Oh, this would be so messy. And the thing is, look, neither player with stone. Reilled's got stone quite close by. Reilled's definitely closest to stone. And he's having a look, I think. He's having a look around for some more rhino. But he won't find it this way. So it doesn't feel like... I guess my point about the stone is, it doesn't feel like tower rushing is going to be a huge factor. Reilled does find a few more zebras. And Reilled needs 2 buildings to go up, whereas SilverPython does not need any more buildings to advance to the next stage. It doesn't have to build a mill, if that's not required. Oh, getting housed again! But Reilled with some idle TC to them also has to get Loom. I think both players are really stressed out. But Reilled finds the rhino. Is he going to find that rhino? He's not quite going to find it. But finds another one. So 2 rhinos to Reilled. 1 for SilverPython. Oh, is this the same one? That must be another rhino. I can't count. Oh, but that's a nice find for SilverPython if he can do so. Yeah, sees that one as well. Okay, I think I actually have no idea. I have no idea who's ahead. I think Reilled's ahead. I also have no idea what I would do in Feudal Age as either player here. The docks are miles away. I don't think going for fish is going for navy is a thing here. It's all going to be about what they can do on land. Reilled housed again. Both players really, really struggling to keep on top of everything here. It's such a stressful environment. Game number 3. The winner of this game, most likely, is going to be top of Group A, which is the most competitive group of the whole, or the most the highest ranked group of the whole thing. So prestigious reward. And, well, it's a lot to play for just for one game. Mill goes down. Deer are going to be taken out, and SilverPython shoots that goat, finds that goat, and then we'll take this rhino back to the mill, I suspect. Or just goes for the deer first, okay. Reilled's getting very, very close to clicking up. 500 food. He has a mill, as a lumber camp and a dock, so can click up. SilverPython can't click up because of the food count just yet. Reilled tries to serenade his opponent with some Avril Lavigne, but nothing in response from SilverPython. A nice second dock there, I quite like that. Maybe even more in the corner. But has Reilled found stone yet? It must. Ooh, SilverPython's found that stone. Oh, and lames those deer, that's why Reilled was singing. Okay. Yeah, so Reilled's seen the stone. And the gold as well. Maybe needs to go to those golds, right? Just to get some progress towards gold to click up to Castle Age. Taking this deer, taking the elephant as well. It's such a high-pressured environment. The players so close to each other. But it feels like if there was a patch of stone here, we'd see some absolute chaos. But it's not going to be quite that contested. That's really nice mining camp, actually. Both resources at once. And Reilled will use that to get some gold, and then send the vills on to stone when he has the 200 gold required to click up to Castle Age. Reilled also needs some buildings to get up to the Castle Age. And builds an outpost for protection. Scout what the opponent is up to. Fire galley from Reilled. So he is going to try for some water play. And that's a nice idea. I think that's a really nice idea, actually. Just send it round, see what you can see. SilverPython. Ooh, have these vills got any food in their hand? They don't. And Reilled's actually going to drop a tower. I don't know about this. Maybe it's a good idea. SilverPython now sees the foundation. Well, you can't batter that house down forever, SilverPython. You've got to make a decision. Okay, counter tower comes up. It's built with a lot more villages. But to be honest, I think Reilled's very happy to have forced the counter tower there. Banish, of course, build a bit faster as well, so yeah, that's actually really awkward for SilverPython to deal with. Because that is really the gold income, the source of gold, that Reilled has obstructed. And yeah, has the food to click up, but not the gold. We'll send some vills to gold now. Reilled still focusing down that tower. The town centre can also shoot this tower though, can't it? No, it can't. The tower can shoot the tower. Okay. I see, I see. Well, SilverPython, you gotta be careful, don't lose all your bills. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh my goodness me, losing 2 vills for free there. The Eco KD 4-0. I think Reilled's actually pulled off a masterstroke with that tower. Needs a little bit more food and gold to click up. But getting so many kills. Oh, and that's the Eco KD. This fire galley. I think Reilled's done a really, really, really good job there with the Spanish on Nomad. Has the requisite resources and the buildings to go up to the Castle Age, and then as soon as he clicks up, yep, Castle Age queued up behind the Vill. On the way now, and look at this. These Vills have pickaxes in their hand, and they are on their way to the silver gold. The stone. Gleaming in the sunshine. And, well, SilverPython, yeah, he is forced to run. Confused. Why is he not going FC Conks? He's getting there. He's getting there. He's going castle. He's going tower drop at Conks. There's see a little boxing ring erected here. Both players contributing to the walls around this one. 2% work efficiency last minute. That's not very good. But wow! SilverPython does manage to click Castle Age. The thing is, though, he clicks Castle Age, but it kind of feels like a Castle Age into GG scenario. The boxing match is won by Reilled. I think it might signify the victor of this game as well, because look at the res behind it. 3 bills on food, 4 bills on gold. That's what SilverPython's working with. Reilled is laughing in terms of its economy. The fire guys were such a great addition. I didn't think it would be... I didn't think it would find much efficacy, and I thought the gold would be better spent on Castle Age, but I was completely wrong. Reilled does a great job there of just securing the fish for himself. 7 fishing ships to 3, and those 3 aren't really working. And that just means, look at its food economy, it's so strong. Isn't going to have enough stone to make a castle when Castle Age comes in, but Castle Age does come in. I think it will be a very tricky scenario now for SilverPython. Of course, no need to resign, because Castle Age just came in for yourself. Reilled, yeah, desperate for that castle. Just playing around with the market a little bit. And drops it there. Think could even go more aggressive, right? Because all you have to do is make sure the bills don't get hit by the range of the TC. So you can put it even closer and deny the gold and the wood line. But yeah, that's absolutely fine. And that doesn't really need any more quibbles there. Yeah, and then backs off with some bills actually. Literally 0 resources for SilverPython. 1 food and 1 on food. He is struggling. A knight as well coming from Reilled. Conquistadors will follow. And this is this is a tragic scenario. This is not what SilverPython hoped for his home map. And remember, he chose to build a TC here. I think you probably have to, right? When you see your opponent building a TC, you're kind of sort of priced in to building it yourself. But it's just the way that the cookie crumbles sometimes on Nomad. You can have this scenario where it just feels like there's nothing you can do with the way that your builds have spawned. So, unfortunate for SilverPython there. Reilled coming forward with knights now to kill these villagers. There's no... It looks like SilverPython wants to drop a castle. He'll have the stone very nearly to do so. Question is, what can he do? There we go, the castle res are in. Reilled sees it straight away. But yeah, GG's called. The knights are there. Well played. GG. Reilled reverse sweeps. It's only a best of 3. But it still counts as a reverse sweep. Still a totally legitimate reverse sweep. And a victory for Reilled. 2-1. So he beat Akal 2-1 in their set. Again, a reverse sweep. And SilverPython 2-1 as well. So Reilled, you know, he takes a little while to warm up into the set, but the games just went better and better for him. And he's got to be happy with that one. Not too much to say, really, about that Nomad game, other than it was a really nice execution from Reilled. I think the killing a fish just completely swung everything in favour of him, because you could see the food economy just wasn't there. Also, yeah, just having the Spanish on Nomad in a position like that, it's just a kind of dream scenario. So good job to Reilled. Of course, Spanish were left till the 3rd pick, so